Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night in freezing cold Michigan. Alan's been making fun of me all evening. So welcome, 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 welcome. It is so good to be back. I wanted to be here on Tuesday. We just couldn't get it worked out. Um, but I hope you guys are all doing well. We'd love to know, who's here. Alan will hopefully give me a shout out. Maybe if he, sees some of your names. He was already calling off some of the names. I know Linnea's here and Cindy Patty's here and a couple of other people he called off already. So that's so sweet. I wish I could see everybody's names, but I can't anymore. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is chilly here in Michigan. As you can see, I'm wearing a blanket.
You're wearing a bucket.
He keeps calling me Fozzie Bear. And we were joking like if he threw water on me, would it go? you know? But it's really big. If any of you guys have ever heard of Sundance, it's one of my favorite catalog companies. And that's what this is from. It's from Sundance. And if anybody knows me, the one color that I really cannot stand on people is yellow. I don't even like it. I mean, I'll take it in my garden a little bit, just like as an accent color, but I'm not a really big fan of yellow at all. I mean, I don't like it on people. I don't like it with skin tones. I can never, ever, ever wear yellow because my skin I've got like olive tones, so it makes me look kind of like ill. So Alan's bored with my conversation already. But I saw this and I'm like, oh, now that's kind of a gold color. I might be able to pull that off. So anyway, I am gargantuan today in my big warm sweater and I love it. And it's actually perfect for tonight because I'm going to be working with some of our Christmas stamps. So with that holiday on the way, and I think it was only like 54 degrees today. That means that we're getting into cooler weather, and so I thought that it would be absolutely perfect for me to wear something cozy and warm and be comfortable and work on some Christmas stuff. So the whole thing about today, though, is if you got the email that I sent out, I love Christmas. It is my absolute favorite holiday, hands down. I know a lot of people feel that way, and I love. I'm not hugely into traditional Christmas colors in that I don't like orangey reds, but I love really deep reds and I love like burgundies and I love like really dark greens. So I love like traditional colors, but on the darker side of things. And so for some reason though, whenever I'm pulling out Christmas stuff, and you guys have noticed already in some of the things that I've done, I'm kind of for some reason really enjoying experimenting with non-traditional colors and trying to see how can I make things go farther. And I mean I'm sure I'm going to craft with some traditional Christmas colors, but every time I sit down lately, I want to play with really cool colors as opposed to warm colors. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to grab the Peace and Joy stamps tonight, and I'm going to see what I can do with those so they don't look like poinsettias, so they don't look like Christmas stamps. And so I've already got one of them colored up, and I think it turned out okay. And I thought I would do a little bit of coloring for you guys tonight. And we'll see how the project turns out. I haven't put it together. We're going to do a little bit of die cutting, at least Alan is, and we're going to see how it goes. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my glasses, and we're going to switch cameras to camera two. Two. Two cameras in one. Ha ha ha.
Nothing there.
Here we go. There's nothing there. Here we go. So just to give you guys a quick run through the products that I'm going to be working with tonight. Peace and Joy stamps. We've got 6 stamps in this. 2 big, beautiful florals that, let me turn this over so you can see better. We've got them colored up on the back so that they look like poinsettias, but to be honest with you, they really could be any flower. So we do have some, Christmas sentiments in here. Very simple, scripted, beautiful script font there. So we have 2 of those. They're great in corners, the centerpieces, however you want to use them on your cards. And then, of course, the coordinating dies. We have it mapped out on the back so you know which one goes with which. So that's kind of the star of tonight's show. And I cannot get enough of these. I worked with these last week. I worked with Modern Geometric cover plates 1, 2, and 3, layered them all up and showed you how you can layer them differently. Tonight, I really wanted to focus on cover plate 3. because it has a flower in here that I think really kind of resembles this flower in the stamp set here. And I thought this might be fun to layer and play with, to have a little bit of texture and pattern in the background. And then when I was looking for sentiments, I didn't want to do a Christmas sentiment because I wanted to use these stamps and make a non-Christmas card. So I decided to grab my Lily stamps because I wanted that big thanks right there. And then, well, this is my sample. This was actually my prototype. You would think I would at least have a set of these Lily dies. That's how out of them we are. I don't think we have any at all. I don't even have a set. So those are on back order. They should be arriving, I think, by the end of the month we'll have them. Or is it end of the month, Alan, or is it? No, I think it's middle of next month that we're going to have the Lily dies back in. And Alan's going to say, can't you use product that we actually have in stock? Well, no, because I wanted this thanks.
We sell something we have.
Yeah. So Beth is saying these would be pretty for fall also. I agree. I think absolutely stunning. You can color these up however you want. I love them. I think this is, even though, peace and joy doesn't have to be Christmas. The sentiments are definitely Christmas, but this set, you can use this set all year long. So that's what we're going to play with. And I'm going to get my little bag of goodies here and show you what I've got going on here. A few little pieces. This is the one I've colored up already. What do I have happening here? Let's see. Okay. So this is the one I've colored up already. Alan, do you want to come to camera 3? Please. Okay. This is what I've colored up already. So this one is, which one is it? It's this one here. It goes in this direction. That's the one that I've colored up. Mine is, of course, all got black ink on it. I didn't clean my stamp really well, but when you get yours, it'll be nice and clean and pretty like these. Mine is what I don't use the word dirty. I like to say well loved. So that is there, and is that stamp. Anyway, I've colored it in, I think, a really pretty purple. I used Copics, and then I went with kind of a aqua color on the leaves here. We've got yellow on those little berries. And then I've got gray on the larger leaves. I thought that'd be really pretty. And that is what I kind of played off of. I grabbed this, this is a beautiful textured kind of silvery, just a cardstock that I just happen to have. And so that's what we're going to play with. We're going to see how that works with the modern geometric cover plate. So I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to color this one up for you, and I'm going to do it just like this one and show you what I did and which colors I used. I don't think I've colored in a little while, so I thought that I would do that tonight. And I am using Copics. These are the Copics, just this small little handful right here. I typically work, I usually work in, for larger images, I will work with like a trio of colors. So for this beautiful purple flower here, I went with RV52. That's a red, what is that, like a red violet? Thank you. RV52, RV55. It's a little bit blurry because of the autofocus that we don't have autofocus on. And then this one, I will put the caps down so you can see them better. But this is an RV66. So we're going to start with that. I've already gone ahead and stamped this, and I stamped it in a really gorgeous, nice, dark, rich black. This is our Raven Hybrid ink. That's Raven. If you're not familiar with our hybrid inks, these are inks that you can use with just about any medium. So I can stamp this, I can color with alcohol markers like Copics. I can stamp on watercolor paper, and I can color with watercolor paints if I want. I can stamp on glossy surfaces and wood and fabrics and so on. So it's really a go-to ink for all of your crafting needs, just about. Okay, When I color with Copics, I like to go light to dark. It's how I learned. It's the way that I do it. It's the way I'm most comfortable with. You may have learned dark to light, or maybe that's just how you started. There is no right way of doing it as far as I'm concerned. I think crafting and art, as a whole, um, is really your preference and how you like to do something and what you find beautiful. So, and also what you're most comfortable with. So I am more comfortable going light to dark. So I'm going to start with these large flowers, and I'm just going to start pulling color in just kind of lightly. I always go very gently when I color, just kind of lightly flicking the color in. I'm just working with the tip of my marker. And I'm going to move slowly. These images are kind of small. I don't want to, get color where it's not supposed to be.
Want to go in any, or are you good there?
Are you able to zoom in a little bit more?
Yeah, are we on 3? Oh no, we're on 3 already.
Yeah, we're on 3. Are people having a hard time seeing?
No, I'm looking at a little tiny screen, so I can see.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to go and just kind of trim out. Now, if I do go out of the lines a little bit, I'm not going to worry about it. If I don't get complete coverage and I leave a little bit of white, it doesn't bother me. I'm literally just laying down a base color. I just went out of the line on that leaf there, but I'm not going to worry about it. If you want to, touch that up with a blender marker, you could do that, but frankly, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to be going over it with green anyway, well, aqua. So I'm just going to come in here and do a very light base color. I'm going to do it on each of these. These are small images, so I'm not going to necessarily worry about doing, one full image at a time. I'm just going to work my way around. If you want to leave some areas white, you can. If you, by the way, have something to craft with, that is wonderful. You can craft along with me. If you have any questions, please put your questions out there. My husband, Alan, my producer, my partner in crime, is standing by. And I think we've got Linnea here, like I had mentioned earlier. Linnea is on our design team. She and I are also friends, and she does a lot for me. And she will be there to answer any questions. But Alan will definitely put your questions to me. Now, at the end, we also do a giveaway for anybody that is new here. The only way that we know if you're here is if you leave a comment. And it's the only way that we'll be able to potentially choose your name. Okay, so I have a little bit of color on each of those. Now I'm going to go up one color to RV55. And I'm just going to put this color in here kind of sparingly. And I'm just going to kind of go up like the right side a little bit. I'm choosing kind of one side of these areas just to get a little bit of color in there, a little depth of color, maybe where the images kind of come together a little bit. And the illustrations give us kind of an indication of where that might be with the lines. This one I am going to come down the side here, the left side, also because this petal right here is in front of the others. So we want to give the idea that, kind of create a little bit of an illusion that we might have a little bit of a overlap. Now, in working in these little smaller areas, I'm just going to kind of go up the one side a little bit so that I leave kind of a highlighted area. And if it's not perfect, I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to be coming in and doing some blending. But you can see how quickly this goes. And notice I'm not turning my hand, I'm turning the image around as I go. So I don't want to be twisting my hand all over the place. That's a good way to mess up your coloring, really, is to be twisting your hand all over the place, because you kind of lose control of it. So my hand pretty much stays in one place as I'm coloring. That's the way I'm most comfortable doing this flicking motion that I'm doing with the tip of the brush. I do it in a way that my wrist is comfortable, so I'm not twisting my wrist around. So again, I'm going to come up on, kind of on the right side of these little, kind of like little folds. I am going to come down the inside of that one though, just because this petal, again, is on the, it's kind of in the front. All right, so that is color number 2. Now I'm going to go to color number 3, which is RV66. So I go up in color, so I go light to dark, and then I'm going to go back light again. So now with the darkest color, I'm just going to add like where my deepest shadows might be. So I'm going to go back to what I just worked on, but I'm not going to put that color all the way over my medium color. Very, very sparingly. This creates a little bit of shadow. Not really shadow, but it's like a depth of color. So this is like in the deepest little crevices. Just with the very, very tip of your brush. And I'm touching down very, very lightly. Just get a little bit up at the tip there, just so you have a little bit of texture up at the top. You can already see how it's starting to show those highlights and kind of lowlights, if you will. High points and low points. I'm going to use that darkest color at the top here, just to create a little bit of bend up at the top. So the idea really is that I'm going kind of back into the same areas that I just did with my medium color, but I'm putting less down. So I'm not going in as far with the color. So I'm not covering up those spaces or places completely, just a little bit. All right. And now I'm going to go to the final flower over here. You can tell I'm talking through this. So as I talk through it, you can see it really doesn't require a whole lot of focus. It's fairly easy to do. The images are really easy to color. You just kind of have to choose where you want your like your light source to be, your highlights or your lowlights. There we go. So that's it with those. Now I'm going to drop down to my lightest color, which is RV52, and I'm just going to gently blend that out. So instead of working with the very tip of my brush, I'm going to lean it just a little bit over to the side and pull my color around. Oops, let me flip this back up. And just push it up. I am working, I forgot to tell you, I am working with Nina Classic Crest Solar White. That's what I stamped on. You do have this in the store. There you go. You go onto the back here. Clean off my brush. I'm going to get a little bit of color in here. There we go. I kind of blended that out too much, but it'll be fine. So just being kind of gentle with it, moving that color around just to blend that out a little bit. But I'm not going over my lightest areas again. I'm just going over those edges where the colors meet, just to smooth them out and move that color a bit. So it gives me a softer edge where the colors meet. There we go. There's one. And I'm going to go to this next one here and just soften those out a bit. And then over to this one here and do the same thing. Just where the colors are meeting, like where it meets dark to light. Smoothing over where they meet. And still turning my paper instead of my wrist. All right, and then this last one here. Just blend that out a little bit. And you want to be careful you don't overblend. If you overblend, you're going to lose the effect. Okay, and you're going to lose that high light and low light in there. So there we go. All right, so our next color, I'm going to do the leaves. I'm going to do these little green leaves. And so the two colors I chose for this are BG, which is a blue-green, so BG11 and BG13. So the first one is BG11 because I start light, and I'm literally just going to drag a tiny bit of color in each of these little leaves. I mean, look how fast that is. I don't know if you can see it just yet because it is a light color, and with the brightness of the lights in the room here, the camera may not be picking it up too much, but I'm literally just putting a little bit of this blue-green in. It's a very soft color, very subtle. We are going to darken it up with the next shade. I'm also going to touch down in the base of these flowers. And then, let's see, do I have any more that I missed? I think I missed that one there. I think that's it. So now I'm going to go to my next color. So you can see, I mean, I can see it in the screen a little bit. We've got a difference of color there, just a little bit. You can see it. BG13 is next. Now, with this one, this is a big difference in color. So I'm just going to put a little bit. I don't want to cover all of that blue-green. Small little flick of color from the bottom up. All right. I like to leave the tips a little bit white. Not white, but light. Now this I'm going to pull in the other direction because the leaves are going in the other direction. So now I'm pulling toward me. This one goes out a bit. So I'm flicking in the other direction, flicking toward me instead of away. This one goes out in the other direction, so I have to do that in 3 pieces. This one is going out as well. A little bit of color at the base of that one. Sherry is saying, huh? What? Oh, Alan. Okay, so Sherry Nason is saying, is letting me know that she's here. Hi, Sherry. Where'd it go? What are you doing? Alan put a comment up here, letting me know that you are here. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. And thanking me for supplying. Oh, Stacy Park. Yes. Yes, SMS, Scrapbooking Made Simple, with the fantastic kits. We love working with Stacy. I love her energy. And she has selected some really, really beautiful kits to bring to her SMS family. So it's been an absolute pleasure working with her. So thank you. And it's so nice to see you here, Sherry. Very cool. If anybody else wants to give me a shout out, please do so. If we have any retail store owners here, let us know that you're here. We'd love to give your store a shout out, you know, to let people know that they can find our products there. Please let us know. You can, you know, feel free also to post, you know, a link to your store out there in the chat as well. Okay, so I went in with my lighter color and blended a bit. I am going to go with my darker color. So this is one where I'm working with very small little areas here with these little leaves. So I didn't choose 3 different colors. I do have a little bit of a different path with this. So I'm going back to BG13. And I am just going to add a teeny tiny little bit of that color at the base of each of these again. So I did the darkest color, and then I blended out a bit with the lightest color. And now I'm going in with a tiny bit of the darker one, which is BG13. And then instead of using a 3rd color, I'm going to show you what I ended up doing, because I have a fun little thing that I like to do. You've probably seen me do it with grays. I love to use grays to shadow and darken things. So there we go. So I added a little bit of that back. I do see one here that it's not blended out very well, so I want to correct that in this one here too. So if you need to do that, then please do so. Okay, I'm going to come back with the grays a little bit later. You'll see me when I go over things with gray, because I love doing that. So for the centers of the flowers, I chose 2 yellows. I love Y11. This Y11 is such a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, sunny yellow. I love it. And so really, really bright. So I bring this in just on the little, like around the outside of the centers. So not directly in the center. I wanted to leave that white. So that's that beautiful yellow. And then I love to go in with Y15 and just add a little bit of a golden, just a touch down. And I think that that adds a little bit of a, it makes it look like it's glowing a little bit. I wish we were a little bit closer on this one, Alan. Are you able to zoom in on this camera or no?
Not right this minute.
No? Okay.
I mean, I could climb up and...
No. I just wish we were. We might have to come in a little bit closer with the zoom. So, okay, I'm also going to take this Y15 and I'm going to dot each of these little kind of berries in yellow, because I like the balance of yellow. So I have the yellow in the center, and these little yellow berries are going to balance the amount of yellow that I have on in my picture. Okay. Now I'm going to go to gray, because I want to get these leaves. And since I'm working with blues and these gorgeous purples, they're cool colors as opposed to warm colors. They're cool colors. And so I'm working with a cool gray. So I have C00, C1, and C3. I'm going to start with C00. You probably won't be able to see the color very much. If I color outside here, you can see, you really can't see it, right? It's very, very light. I can see it. It's going to kind of help me map out. I like to map out with lighter colors. This also gives me kind of a nice foundation of that on that leaf. I like to map out with my light colors. That way I'm not committed if I make a mistake. That's another reason why I start, why I always like to go light to dark. If I start dark and I get it wrong, oop, I missed a petal there. I just saw that. Anyway, if I start dark and I get it wrong, I'm committed. I like to start light and build from there. I'm going to very quickly get this little flower petal. So I've got my lightest pink. I'm going to go up to my medium, which is my R55.
Can you explain the difference between cool and warm colors?
Absolutely. Cool colors have they're going to have like a blue undertone, technically. So like your cool colors, well, obviously they're going to be your blues. They're going to be your blues, your purples, your pinks. they're going to have a blue undertone to them. When we get into warmer colors, you're going to have, even like, some of your greens can be cool greens, like your blue greens. But we can get into shades of green that are considered more warm greens as well. If we get into things that are more like an olive green or a forest green, it can shift into more of a warm green than a cool. Your real earthy colors. I mean, even like this yellow here is a much warmer color. The easiest way to explain it, I think, let me give me some of the warm grays over there.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the grays get into warm, right?
Yeah, we've got,
These guys?
Yeah. So here we've got these going on. All right. Let me move this one out of the way. So you can see just by the caps here, you can see these are W's. For Copics, they use a W for a warm. So this is a W3 and a W5. Alan, get me a C5, because I have a C3 here. Get me a C5. That way I've got same color, the same, tone.
What is this?
C5, cool gray. Grays, yeah, all the grays over there. C5. Okay. Okay. So this will be easier to see. These are 3s and these are both 5s. All right. But you can see that this has a more of a bluish tint to it. This is a C, it's a cool, it has a bluish tint, like a blue undertone. This is a W3 that has a brownish or a warmer tint that has a brown undertone. And then the same with the C5 and the W5. Okay, you can see one is bluer and one is browner. So your warm colors are your warm grays are gonna have a brown undertone. Your cool grays are going to have a blue undertone. Alan, will you get me an N3 and an N5?
What does that mean?
N is a neutral. All my grays are in the same area there, so look for the N's.
Okay. And what? And what?
N3 and N5. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring my N's in here now. All right. So here we go. Now these N's, these are neutral. That means it doesn't have blue in it and it's not going to have brown in it. So you can see the difference now when I put these up to each other, right? These are my neutral grays, these are my blue grays or my cool grays, right? This is, again, my neutral, and then this is my warm grays over here. So neutral and warm. So your neutrals, these are not going to have either a blue or a brown undertone to them. These are going to be like, if you build these up, you're going to get your truest black. All right. If you build these up, you're going to get, well, these are cool grays. You're going to get, well, you're going to get my grandma's hair. She used to have like a silvery blue beehive hairdo when I was younger. And we used to tease her. We oh my goodness, she had a fantastic sense of humor. We used to tease her, and we used to call her Bullet Head, the silver bullet. When we were kids, and she would laugh. Anyway, she had a fantastic sense of humor. I think it's one of the, I mean, I had wonderful women in my life. That's where I get my sense of humor as well as with my dad. But anyway, I've sidetracked. This is going to be, a blue gray. Obviously, it's going to be more like if you were coloring maybe a penguin. If you wanted to have a penguin, like a cartoon penguin, you might do something that's more of a blue gray, a cool gray. But this might be more of a tuxedo because it's, and then like the warm grays, I use these a lot for antiquing and aging things, giving age to what I'm working with. So, and especially if I'm working with wood and just, things that I want to look old. So that's that story. That's all of those. So I did grab cool grays for this. Because I'm working with cool colors and I'm not giving age to anything, I just wanted to add depth or shadows. So I've gone ahead with my lightest, which is my C00, just to kind of map it out there a little bit. Now I'm going to go to C1, all right, and I'm just going to add a little bit, there we go, just up underneath each one of these little veins, and I'm adding a little bit of depth into the center of that vein as well. I am going to kind of brush along the edge here. The little scallops on the outside of it are so small that I didn't want to color in those because I don't want those to just kind of fade away and fill in. But I did just kind of, I'll tell you what I did. I did it while I was talking, so I'll tell you. I am kind of going along the edge there just to better define that edge around them without coloring them in. Sometimes when you're coloring, it's not necessarily to add color, but it's to provide definition and a little bit of shape and draw the eye to it. There we go. So my darkest one is going to be C3. And this is where I'm going to use this very, very sparingly. Just kind of in the centers a little bit. Around the edge here. Tiny, tiny little bit with that tip. But see how it brings that whole... Look at how the difference between this leaf here and this leaf over here. You can just see it better. The contour, the shape of it. But I'm not fully coloring it in. There we go, just a little bit. And even though I'm leaving a lot of it white, it still looks like it's a gray leaf. Now, do we see gray leaves in nature? No. At least I don't. I don't care. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I think I did a better job on these than I did this one over here, so I'm going to fix this one over here. And outline this as well. And sometimes we go back and we see where we need to correct a little bit. Okay, I definitely like this one better than the one I did earlier. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm going to use this C3 to also add depth to my flowers, to the base of some of that green and blue, into that the little crevices of the purple, but just a tiny little bit, not everywhere. Very, very bottom. It gives a little bit of a shadow. Look at what that does. So pretty. I can shadow these just by touching down every so often. And I'm going to do that also at the base of each of these little leaves. You can't really see the gray, but it gives it just an extra little bit of depth. I'm not just dotting, I am flicking it, but when I flick it, it's I'm lifting up the brush pretty quickly so that I don't drag the color through the leaf. Okay. I'm just going to dab it down at the bottom of that to shadow it. Get these flowers just a little bit. So this is a great way just to add a little more depth without adding more color. You know, and I'm not changing the color either. Just a little bit here and there. Really makes that. Look at the difference between how that one pops and that one pops. You can really see those, how dark that is in some of those areas. The smaller the flower, the less you want to do this, because you don't want the whole center of that to turn out being gray. There you go. I think that's it with those. All right. So that is our coloring. I think it looks pretty. Okay, so next up we've got Alan. We need Alan here to do some die cutting. So I've got my Peace and Joy dies. I've already cut the first one here. We're going to cut this next one. Do I have the right die? Yep, I got the right die. Yay. Let's go ahead and tape this down. There we go. I do like to tape in a couple of spots that didn't even hold it. Oh. Let's do this again. This piece of tape is not holding anything. Defunct, yes. Let's get a bigger piece. What?
What if it's something on the paper?
No, it's the tape. Promise you it's the tape. Okay. So my favorite is the Sizzix here. I'm going to lay this on here. Alan's going to go cut this for me while I set up the next one. Okay, so the next thing we're going to die cut, so we've already got this piece here, which is that beautiful textured silver that I have. I've also already got my A2 card base. So A2, this is just a half sheet of letter size paper. It is 8.5 inches across. I've cut it to 5.5 inches, and then we score it 4 1/4. So we have an A2 card base here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and already place this down on my card base. Just get that going, because why not? There we go. That's one step done. Alan has come over here with my die cut. Let's see how he did. See if we can give him a hand or smack him up against the head. No, kidding. No, kidding. Kidding. I'll wait and do that after off camera. Nobody's laughing at that. That isn't funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. Okay, you're not funny, Ange. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put these away. Let's see. You did a beautiful job with that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You did a gorgeous job.
I did all the work.
You did all the work.
I don't know why you get all the credit for
Okay, next up is my Modern Geometric Cover Plate number 3 die.
It's got a little speck on it.
Oh. Uh-oh, it's got a little piece in there. Huh? No, it's all right. I'm not going to worry about it. Cardstock. Where did my cardstock go? Here we go. So these are already cut to A2. I wish I need stronger tape. So because these are already cut to A2 and my die cuts to A2, I want to tape this down. Yeah, no, it's good. So I want stronger tape. I'm actually going to tape it. So I'm going to lay my die in here so that it fits. See, it fits beautifully. And I'm going to lay it blade side down, and I'm going to tape it. I don't want it to move. I'm going to tape it on both sides so it doesn't slide. This is just a stronger tape. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and lay this one on top of it. And I'm going to flip that over because this is an intricate die and I want that blade pointing up. All right. I usually cut with the blade pointing down. That way what are these called? My plates don't warp as much. Cutting up with the blade side up tends to warp your plates more because it's cutting into that top plate, which is being pressed with the roller as it goes through the machine.
There's no support for it.
Yeah, there's no support. So with the more intricate dies, you want to cut with the blade side up because it's going to get more pressure from that roller. So that's what we're going to do with that. I'm going to go ahead while he's doing that, and I'm going to put some foam on the back of these flowers because, I mean, let's be honest, we know I'm going to put foam on them, right? Look at how teeny tiny that foam roll is getting. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Oh my, it is getting small. Is that only the second one?
Is this only the second one? No, this has got to be the third one. It's got to be, right? I'm going to get a little more support on these. This foam goes a long way. I am going to put a little more support on these.
I actually think that might just be the second one.
You think it's just the second one?
A year and a half, yeah.
In a year and a half?
Yeah.
I'm a parrot. I'm just saying everything that you say and repeating. There we go.
I love you. Those.
Okay, so I have foam on those. Those are ready to go. Here is what Alan just handed me. So you can see this is warped a little bit, but I'll fix that. So the tape, it's all stuck on with that tape, see? So yeah, I will fix this. I'll flip this over and we'll run that through a few times, you know, with everything in the correct direction, and then it'll straighten out that plate. And it'll be good. But look how beautiful that cut. One time through the machine, you can see how beautifully that cut. It is an intricate die. They're absolutely stunning. And hey, Alan, can you give me the little rolling thing over there I forgot to grab?
Yeah, this thing?
Yeah.
You've got a point on the end. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so with the little rolling tool here, I can go like this and get all these little pieces out really easily, right? How easy that is. So simple. What a mess.
Yeah, why you're doing that?
Well, I just want to show everybody how easily they come out. And then up in the corners here, we've got little poke holes, so you can push that paper away from the die and just slide that out of there. Now, I did go ahead and do this with my Neenah Classic Crest, so this is a nice, thick, heavy cardstock that I use. Look how beautiful that is. Cut through, only a few little pieces here that I need to tend to.
Push those over here.
Yeah, that'd be great, thank you. My sweet, sweet husband is going to clean up for me.
Oh, yeah, is he here?
He is, he's cleaning up for me. But see, it only left a few little loose pieces here that didn't come out really easily. They didn't just fall out on their own, so I'm just working them out of there. Did I get them all? Sometimes you have to take a moment and look. I think they're all out. This one's dangling. It's a little dangling participle in the back there. Okay, so there you go. Look how easy. I love these dies. They're so great. They cut beautifully. So next step is, I wanted to have the silver in the background. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I used this silver paper last week with these dies, but I actually die cut it with one of the plates, and now I'm using it in the background. I think it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and run my tape down the side here because I can fold that in wherever I don't want it to be. Ah! Oh, what a mess I've made. Lift that up and put that on there. That'll work. There we go. Helps if I release the tape properly. There we go. And now in the areas where I've gone off the edge, I can just pull that in, push that in into the edge quite easily. But I like using the tape, that tape gun, whenever I can, because the tape is so strong. I don't have to deal with like a liquid glue and wait for it to dry, or and this stuff is just so strong. But all I'm doing is folding, you know, wherever I wasn't perfect when I rolled that tape out. I'm just folding it in so that it's on the right areas. That's all. And it just moves easily. No problemo. And yes, that's about the extent of my Spanish. That's all. Okay. So now, let me see if I have that at the top. Can't put my head over it, so I can't see if it's perfect. Oh, for goodness sake. All right, let me double check and just make sure everything's going to lay perfect. All right, and it does. So I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. I don't think I put that silver piece on there perfectly. I think it's overhanging a little bit on the side. There we go. So my silver piece is overhanging a little bit on the side over here. So I could trim that if I wanted, or I can not bother with it. I think I'm going to choose to not bother with it. But isn't that pretty? It's gorgeous. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. All right, so next up, that way? I think it goes that way. So let's do that. I think I'm going to do that.
Silver doesn't really show well on camera.
No, well, it does when I angle it. So I'm going to put these two pieces, beautiful flowers, into place in the corners. Just like so. There's one. And we're going to need a sentiment, so we're going to do that in a moment. For anybody who was over there screaming, Angie, don't forget your sentiment. Because I tend to forget sentiments. I'm going to have a sentiment maybe go right over here. I'm not sure where that's going to go. We're going to play with that and see. So let's see. The sentiment is going to say, thanks. Let me get this over here. And that means I need to stamp. So I'm going to get my card out of the way here so I don't get any ink on it, because I tend to do stuffs like that. I'm going to get my thanks out of the Lily set. I love that font. I just think it's so pretty. I'll line that up. Actually, I don't have to line it up. I'm going to die cut it. What am I doing? I'm being a goofball. So I haven't stamped this one. So I'm going to just rub my finger over that. Helps it stamp a little bit better first time.
How would you not stamp that one?
No, I haven't used this one. I had two of them. I grabbed this one because the other one was really filthy. I didn't want to clean it. I didn't have time. Where's my Stampendable? Here's my Stampendable. So this is the first time I'm stamping with this particular stamp. So I may have to stamp it twice because it's a really thick font. Actually, it looks gorgeous. I am going to do it a second time. Just really close up, I can see just a couple of areas that were not perfect. And this just, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Let me get this cleaned. Put excess off of there. Okay. And Then I'll put that away, but let me get Alan set up with cutting this. Get my die. I don't know if that's dry all the way. I stamped it twice, so I have a lot of ink on it. And it does take a moment for the hybrid ink to dry. So I'm going to give that a moment to dry before I start putting tape on it. Just to be certain I don't mess it up. All right, line up. And I always like to have tape on opposing sides to help keep things in place. All right, so it's going on my board with the blade side down. Put that over the top. Alan's going to go ahead and take care of that for me. While I clean up for a moment here. I have all these little bits and pieces. I got to get these some little pieces out of that one. So I'll do that momentarily. Okay. So here we are. Mr. Hunt is excellent at die cutting.
You do all the work.
He does all the work, yes. When it's time for like a trade show, we have a die cutting extravaganza, if need be. And look how beautiful, look how perfect that is. It's gorgeous. And anyway, he's like the best die cutter. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I think what I want to do is maybe put this here. If I put it up here, I'm covering up a lot of those flowers. I mean, granted, this, you know, it's kind of in the middle, but I don't want to cover all that up. I have a lot of the beautiful, you know, that bouquet up there, and I have the one here, but I think I'm going to put this down here like this, like that, or maybe like that.
People are going to be upset if you cover up flowers.
People are going to be upset if I cover up those purple flowers?
Don't you think?
I just don't like this right in the middle. I think it needs to be offset a bit.
Well, I think it's perfect right there.
I think here is probably good. You like it here?
I like it in the middle.
I don't like it right in the middle. Maybe if I put it right in the middle, it's kind of pretty. That actually works better than over here. Now, maybe if I put it right in the center.
I think that's perfect. That wasn't me. That was somebody else saying they liked it in the middle.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put it right in the center. I think that works.
We got offset. We got the middle. We got beautiful. We got my odal.
My odal?
Sherry said my odal. M-I-O-D-D-L-E.
I think that was middle.
No, it's my odal.
It's my odal? Let's see if I can
middle,
put this.
she would have said middle.
All right. See what I have to deal with, folks? Trim this really thin. I love this foam. If you have not gotten the Scotch foam yet, strongly recommend it. It's thin. It's only like a 1/16 of an inch thick, so it doesn't bulk up my cards really fast, and it allows me to build it up if I need to and add even more dimension, but it also trims really easily. Another thing I would mention, because people ask me all the time, how come my scissors don't get sticky? These Fisker scissors, and we have some of these in the store, these are the only scissors I use. They're just phenomenal. They don't get sticky. You can see, I mean, these have been used for years. Years and years and years. They look kind of nasty. I need to get black scissors. But they're phenomenal. They've never been sharpened or anything. I mean, they're just fantastic. Fiskars really knew what they were doing when they did this, when they put those things together. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. All right, I have to trim this because I'm putting it over the top of some of the little flowers. and I don't need that bulk. All right, let's see. Where's this gonna go?
All right, out of time.
I'm not out of time, I'm doing fine. Up a little bit, I'm looking in the camera. I think that works. But, need to get that out from underneath there. I'm gonna have to put adhesive on the back of that, but I'll deal with that later. Actually, I don't even think I have to, it looks good. Okay, I think the card is done. So here we go. This is a perfect example of how you can take some Christmas stamps and you can extend the life of them and make them work all throughout the year. I think it's gorgeous. What? Yes, go to camera 1. So yes, I think it's beautiful. I'm very happy with it. I don't know what it is about cool colors right now. I love working with cool colors. And I think this turned out beautiful. I don't think anybody would look at that and say, well, those are poinsettias. They don't have to be poinsettias. They can be any flower. I think it's gorgeous. So pretty. And I love the texture that we get. I don't know if I can catch the light. Can I catch the light? Let's see. I'm looking at the camera. Alan, let's come back overhead. So I want to show people. I want them to see what that. Yeah, let's go to the close-up. See that silver when it catches the light in the background of that beautiful, beautiful background dye? Isn't that stunning? So pretty. That's a good shot right there. That looks gorgeous. Anyway, all right, camera 1. Anyway, there you go. Thank you guys. I hope you like it. I love it. I think it's just lovely. So it is time for a giveaway, and I think that the giveaway is going to be, we're going to do the Peace and Joy stamps and dies. How's that sound, Alan?
What's that?
Peace and Joy stamps and dies.
Okay.
Because Fozzie says, Fozzie Bear says we need to give away stamps and dies. Okay, so I need a name. Hopefully everybody got a comment or something out there so Alan can draw a name. Cindy Costa, Costa, C-O-S-T-A. Cindy, you are the winner. Congratulations. I need you please to send us an email to customer service at LDRScreative.com. And make sure you give us your complete name and your mailing address, and we will get your Peace and Joy stamps and dies out to you right away. Congratulations, Cindy. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, too. All right, everybody, that is it for the night. Today's Thursday, right? Right? Okay. So that means we will be back next week. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday or Thursday, but make sure you check your inbox because we will send a message out about an hour before we go live. And if you're not already subscribed to get those emails, then go to our website, LDRScreative.com. You want to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you want to sign up where it says Daily Inspiration. You want to sign up for the Daily Inspiration. You will get daily emails that have projects from our amazing design team, all kinds of beautiful projects showing you ways that you can use our products. But you will also get the email that says we're going live, so you'll know when to join us. So, all right, everybody, please, if you will, I would love it if you would like our video. I know I never ask anybody to do that, but if you would, it would be very much appreciated. Subscribe to us as well. That will give you, if you missed the other email, by subscribing when we do go live or when we put any other video out, you will be notified, so you'll know that that is there. And we do put videos out. Our design team puts videos out several times throughout the month. So you don't want to miss those because those are some amazing, amazing projects that we step you through. So everybody, thank you again for joining us. Wishing you a wonderful evening, a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.